Howdy folks! How are y'all doing? My name is Rees, and welcome back to our Tekkit 2 Let's Play adventure, where things have gotten a little out of hand lately. Fighting pirates, defeating kaiju, rescuing villagers, trying to film an infomercial to drum up interest in investing in the factory, which is not paid off dividends yet, although I've yet to send off that little villager boy with the discs to pass around, so maybe that'll go somewhere, I don't know, and maybe it brought in some new channel members, I've not checked. Maybe consider if you want to support what we do here at Howdy Folks. It's a fun time. But what we are going to do today is we're actually going to buckle down, and we're going to work on, the factory, what we're trying to achieve here, our goal, the goal for which we have striven these last actually almost a year. I think September 1st will be the anniversary of this series, the 1 year anniversary, which is crazy. I want to throw out that we have achieved one thing, and that is we've managed to make 201 medium voltage solar panels, and then somewhere along the way we actually managed to make 1,891 Lapotron crystals and 5,084 energy crystals. But remember, the thing that's kind of right now causing us to stumble, this hurdle, is that we're not making enough diamonds. Now, I could make a solar flower or a power flower, whatever you wish to call it, and I could generate diamonds a bit faster, because you can affix far more energy. Well, yeah, actually, you'd be able to surround at least 4 more Mark II relays and then order more energy collectors and generate diamonds much more quickly that way. But I've been kind of rethinking this entire wall of generations that we've got going on here, because I had another idea, and I know that's a little bit risky for me to mention, but if we step outside for a moment, I'd like to discuss this concept with you that I've not fully landed on how I would want to execute it, but I'd love to get your feedback on it. See, here's the thing. Right now, we're generating all of these items from energy, which is fine, and is working, and for sort of low-cost things, like furnaces and glass and sticky resin and, things of that nature, it's working out just fine. But what about the high-value items? I mean, then you have to come over here, where you have an entire line of iron, an entire line of coal blocks, an entire line of redstone. It's getting a little bit silly. Now, we could build proper-sized solar flowers or power flowers, whatever you might want to call them, and yeah, that would work. To be clear, there's nothing wrong with that. That would be fine. They would generate quite a bit more. 2 diamond ones would probably replace that entire lineup. Full-sized solar flowers, power flowers, whichever you prefer. But then I had this other idea. What if we built those, and we had them generating red matter? And then what if we built a lot of them? What if we built a ton of matter generators, all generating red matter, and then, instead of using energy to create items, we piped that red matter into the factory, into individual condenser units, and had those produce the items? And think about how dense we could pack that. I mean, right over here, there's a lot of space wasted on things like, collectors and condensers and everything. Relays, but what if it was just condensers packed in as far as the eye could see? See, that got me thinking. That's kind of a fun and wacky idea. And I liked it. But I wasn't sure how to do it, because there's a few different options available to us. If we head back inside and we have a look here, what we could do is we could affix them to the ceiling up here and have the whole ceiling be covered in sort of dangling power flowers. And I mean, we've got a lot of open air in here. There's plenty of room for that. But I like the unobstructed view to the sky, and I kind of don't want to undo that. And then I thought, okay, well, what I could do is I could have glass walkways all along the outside, and then the whole of the upper floor could be lined in them. And that would be kind of cool, because then we'd still have that full unobstructed view to the sky, and we'd still have all this open space to hop around in, which we do enjoy doing. But then also the entire upper floor would be generating red matter that would then get piped out into machines to get turned into other things, that would then get piped down here to be turned into other things, and I liked that idea too. I was a fan of that idea too. all the way up until I had this other idea, which was, we have a lot of room. We have a lot of land. We're not hurting for space around here, right? So, I mean, yeah, we need to find some place to put the rest of the villagers, because we built them 7 houses here or whatever it is. And when I say we, I mean, of course, the villagers did all the work. But, I mean, we've got this island here. We can just stick them on the island and that'll be okay. And then, build, I don't know, like a hotel or something over there. And then over here, what if we built a tower of power? An entire structure, a spire, reaching up into the heavens. And it was a spiraling staircase all down the middle, and all inside of it were generators generating red matter. And then right at the bottom, that all gets dumped into one single container, which then pipes them all out and into here. But then I thought, man, that'd be a lot of effort to build. And it would be a lot easier to do a second floor made out of glass along the outside edge and just built the power flowers. But then I felt, you know what, that's a waste. That's a waste. We have all this space, but it's more efficient with my time. And time efficiency is important. But a massive tower. And so here's what I've come up with. And I feel like this is the best of both worlds. I'm going to do a proof of concept inside. We're just going to build a second floor. We're going to build it, out of glass. And we're going to just kind of see how efficiently we can produce red matter and how quickly that could be used to make diamonds, and whether or not we want to kind of continue with that idea. And I figured the best place to do it would be right over here, okay? Because we got to cut all of this out anyway so I can do the windows. And I think I'm still wanting to do the alternating windows situation. I'm not sure. I think that's what I want to do. So the other idea I had was that we could actually carve out a part of the wall and have them be slightly inset into the walls. So the wall down towards the bottom is thicker than it is towards the top. I don't know. I've not fully decided on that yet. But I'm going to just start building and we'll see kind of what it ends up looking like. And I'm wearing glasses now to show that time has passed. Or I'm not, and you'll never know because I don't have the face cam on right now. But you're getting an idea here of about how quickly the original setup can process a single diamond. Now, of course, this is not representative of the number of diamonds we produce per minute, because this is only one of 5 contraptions we have doing this same task. But you're wondering, geez, Rees, what have you been doing over these past many minutes? Not like little, like miniature minutes, but like many as in multiples. I've been doing this. Doesn't it look fantastic? I wasn't sure how it was going to look when I started. There's only 2 of them right now, I realize. It's not done yet, but I like it. The pillars with the glass inside, and then it's slightly inset into the wall. We've got glass on the floor here, and what I might do is once I determine the exact width I need this to do, is I might put a little bit of banding along the side here, maybe using, like I did up here, like sort of tapering with the stairs. Do that along the bottom here. Put some scaffolding. Have a ladder that goes maybe inside of the wall up to the next floor. I love these ideas. I did run out of EMC, which is why I sort of stopped. I have enough to do one more. But if we have a look inside of this one, I was like, you know what? I'm going to need EMC to build all this stuff, so we might as well go ahead and just get this one started. I decided to put red matter in here because that was the original idea, that we'll have these producing red matter, and then it'll output the red matter to other machines, and the machines will produce other things with them. But then I was like, why use the red matter standard when we can use the diamond standard? So this one's set up doing diamonds. Now, you saw before how quickly one of those contraptions over there can produce a diamond, and as you can see, this is quite a bit faster. I kind of went all out here. The only way you could make this more efficient is adding a collector on the bottom, or you could also do a relay and a collector, and the relay would add, I know, earlier in this sentence, or in this series, I should say, not in this sentence just started, well, not at this point, it's gone on too long now. I'm trying to do a correction, though. Earlier in this series, I very boldly and with a great deal of certainty in my voice declared that having a relay to connect one additional collector was dumb, and you were an idiot if you did that, because you gained nothing for it, as opposed to just putting the collector directly against the condenser. And oh, woe is me, was I humbled when I found out that wasn't true by some actually very gracious commenters who were like, actually, you're wrong. Very polite of them, which is why I decided to go all out, even though the amount of EMC produced by one of these is minuscule. I decided to go ahead and instead of putting this directly on top of the collector or the condenser down below, I did add I did additional one of these. Just just a little bit of extra oomph, just that tiny little bit, just to make diamonds just a little bit faster, as they say. Now, we could do that on the bottom too, right? We could put one of these here and then one of these here, and it's that much more effective. But let me ask you this here, folks. How you gonna get the stuff out, eh? Didn't consider that, did ya? No. I did, though. That's why I left the bottom open, so that we could get in here and fetch the diamonds, all of which I'll take right now, because we're running very low. And gosh darn it. See, this is just, it's not that it's ineffective. It's that it's inefficient. It's taking too long. And if the goal is to have a bunch of these lined up across here, or even a tower of power outside, producing a ton of these, I mean, in that situation, the red matter might make more sense. But in this situation, the diamonds make more sense, because the diamonds can be piped out and then converted, either pumped directly down here, where they are needed. Actually, where are the diamonds needed? Inside of here, right? Does this need diamond? And this does not need diamond. But it does need diamond because it needs this, and this need diamond. So we could have them pumped directly down here. And, I mean, as you can see, again, even just like a couple of these, so much more efficient, albeit takes up way more space. Now, what we can do, you can actually cancel this, and that EMC doesn't go anywhere. It's still stored inside of here. When you put this in here, as you can see, it just shoots up and generates 22 diamonds very quickly. All right, there we go. So the two of those are running. Diamonds might be better, because we'll have to have diamonds pumping out and getting turned into iron, diamonds pumping out and getting turned into redstone. Iron is the other one that we're not able to keep up with. We're just using more iron than we're producing, even with this whole contraption. So we're going to have to get more efficient at that. Now, I mean, the idea was to have, like, one item, right? Like a bunch of these, and they're all producing diamonds, and the diamonds get converted into other things. We could do it differently. We could do it slightly differently, and we could have multiples of these orbs, these little pods kind of all over the place, and they could be doing different things. So we could have some iron ones, we could have some red matter or redstone ones, still keep these along the wall here for these sort of lower volume items, but I don't... It kind of overcomplicates things by having everything produce diamonds and then distributing the diamonds around and having those converted into other objects. I understand that kind of complicates things, but in practice, I like it. Before we go any further, though, because I'm going to continue and I'm going to keep experimenting here with this, I did want to address one other thing here, something that might be considered a little bit of an elephant in the room, if you will. Why not just do this? This is super fast and efficient, and we know we can break it further thanks to comments from someone who's already done so. We can get, if we get some, like, silk touch... Actually, you know what I just realized? Is there's probably actually a way to make this even more broken already. What? Do we have gold ore, maybe? Aluminum? See, what I was thinking is if we had gold ore, a stack of gold ore, gold is worth more than iron, so we could actually have this going even faster than it currently is. Why not just do that? Just build a silk touch tool and do that, and I'll tell you why, because you might remember a few episodes ago even, if I can do words correctly, I was all about that. That's exactly what we were working towards. We built a whole enchanting thing in the basement. Well, no, I think that was there for something else, wasn't it? Was that? Yeah, that was there for something different. Yeah, we had to put a fire aspect or something like that on a sword. We went over there, though, and we talked about getting Silk Touch, and we were going to do that. And then we talked about building the Vera, and that seemed like a fun, big weapon that we could build and a fun thing that we could do. And look, it's not that I'm opposed to this or think that it's wrong or that you shouldn't do it, but where I'm currently at on this is that I don't want to use an exploit. Because you never know when that's going to get patched. Now, has the game been patched in a while? No. But patches do come out for it on occasion. It's been almost a year since the game the mod pack release, so I don't expect any more in the future. But if it did, that might get patched, that weird little bug there. I'm sure the mod itself has been fixed, and if the mod version got updated, then the whole thing is gone. I wanted to go with something that was a little bit harder to break, because it's built into the very essence of the mod pack, which is what you got with these. This is what the whole pack is built around, is building these powerful, because this is classic Tekkit, right? This is, well, I mean, it's Tekkit Classic, really, right? That's what this is based off of, and part of Tekkit Classic was building massive farms full of energy collector, power flowers, or solar flowers, or energy flowers, if you're so inclined, and just generating a bunch of items. That's like the core of what Tekkit Classic was. It's the core of what this is Tekkit Classic. So, I mean, this isn't going anywhere. Whereas that exploit could be patched. So that's the only reason I'm doing this. And I think in your world, if you wanted to just do that, you know, take advantage of that exploit, you'd be more than right to. And, I mean, we are. We currently are. I've not been to my collector in the basement in months. Real life months it has been since I have gone down there and engaged with that thing at all. It's probably full, and I haven't even checked on it. I just can't be bothered. We need to go check on it soon, but not right now. So, obviously, we're getting by without going down there because we're taking advantage of that exploit, and we're going to continue to. I just don't want to become reliant on it, is the difference. Currently, we're not reliant on that exploit. Because, like I say, we got the whole system down in the basement that we can go tap into it, and at a moment's notice should the situation arise. But as of right now, that situation has not arrived, and we're just kind of, you know, we're playing and having fun with it, and it's good. So, what's going on around here? Hold on, just a second here. How did I do that? How did I manage that little embarrassing snafu? Here we go. All right, make more diamonds. So I'm going to continue doing this until we have a bank of them so we can fit 2 more in over here and 2 more in down there. And we'll kind of see where we can go from there. Okay, so this is a little bit different than what we've done before. I'll tell you what, this was actually really difficult to figure out how to do. Not from a practical standpoint, like I knew how to do it, but from a design and aesthetic standpoint. I struggled between having the golden transport pipe down here and up here. And the decision that was ultimately made to put it down here was because that way I can see out the window. Because if it was up high, it would be blocking the window like this, but all the way across, and how miserable would that be? But yeah, we're just using the Buildcraft pipes here because there's kind of no reason not to. They're really simple. Up top here, we've got the wooden transport pipe with the pipe pulser and some plugs to make sure that everything moves along the way we want to. After that, it goes into a gold pipe, which will accelerate them. They'll be going nice and fast. They do get a little bit slower going through the iron pipe, but the iron pipe's necessary to make sure that the diamonds go the direction we want. Without it, the diamond would hit, and it's a coin flip, whether or not it goes left or right, and we always want it to go in that direction. That's what these little lines indicate. Nothing can go back that way, but things can pass through them, heading along in this direction, and then they all go into the black hole storage unit, which, as you can tell, is filling up. It's actually filling up with diamonds. We've got a pretty good supply. Now, it should be noted that these are probably all full right now, so it's going to be a while before it drains them of however many it's already got in storage. But once that happens, they're getting replaced at a pretty decent pace, and I do expect this to be empty here soon, even though it's already at 200, because eventually those are going to end up over here inside. Well, actually, that's what, 60, that's 63, that's 62. Okay, well, you know what? At the moment, it's actually doing pretty decent. I should note, these are still going. They are not hooked up in the way that they were before, because I actually took that black hole unit and moved it up here. Speaking of, we should probably take that frame and everything as well. But we're just using these because they don't require any electricity, they're a lot simpler to run, and they're all just getting piped into the black hole unit, where back here, we do have our logistics chassis MK3 with the 2 quicksort modules. Remember, the item sink is for having items piped in. We're only extracting items, and for that, we just need the 2 quicksort modules. I did have someone ask in a comment whether or not we could configure these differently, and the answer is no. There's no configuration on quicksort modules. These are for the export. They'll extract, I believe, a stack at a time. We just need 2 of them to keep up. Also, to address another concern, you can't put stacks of items in here, right? So a marble, I can put that in there, right-clicking, left-clicking, middle-clicking, no matter what, it only puts 1. But it will request a full stack at a time until an inventory is full. So if I hooked one of these up, and for instance it's got a diamond in it, it would request a full stack of diamonds, and these would be capable of supplying a full stack of diamonds. It's just, these can only do one operation at a time. So let's say one of these machines down here calls for a single diamond, because remember, once it's full, and it does get a full stack at a time, it's not going to request another full stack. It'll only request the amount that it needs. In that case, when this is done, it'll request one. And then that'll go into the line, but it takes a while to travel here. So another one gets used and will request another one. And then by the time, see, at this point, it's already requested the two that are missing, but it's going to be losing another one before either of those arrive through the mess of network that we've got going on down below. Hopefully this makes sense. So there's not really much we can do to improve that other than putting the source of the diamonds closer, which we could do. We could put a chest full of diamonds like right down here and have that be kept full, and then it just summons from those, and that actually wouldn't be such a bad idea now that I think about it. If I'd thought about it really early on when we first started the factory, we could have absolutely had maybe barrels, because barrels are capable of holding a stack of items each, and we could have like a barrel right here full of diamonds, and it just stays topped off. It requests one diamond at a time, however many, and yeah, that would work. But what I was going to say is, because each of these is just routinely requesting a single diamond, because boom, it just requested a single diamond, but the previous single diamond it already requested is already on the way. It's a lot of operations, and one quick sync, what are these called? Quick sort module isn't able to keep up. That's why we need the two. Now, we don't actually need an MK3 here anymore, because we could just use an MK2 because we've only got 2 items in there, but I just moved it over here because I had it. And that's the setup, and it looks like the excess of diamonds has finished filtering out. So now we could just stand here if we wanted to and watch how quickly diamonds filter in normally. So there we go. We see a batch coming through, and then once it wraps up, the next batch is already starting. You can see them coming in from the left side and the right side. So we've got a nice steady flow, a nice steady supply of diamonds being generated. So that's our diamond problems dealt with. We could pretty much shut all this down now and we'd be good to go. It wouldn't shock me if I came over here and found that we do have an excess of 366 diamonds. But remember, this was not the original plan. The plan was to start with this and then have the diamonds go into other condensers to make other things. Now, this is not enough. We'll need to build more. The 5 of the... Well, hold on. That's not 5. That's 7. That's 4 plus 3. So 4, 5, 6, 7. See how math works? It's fantastic. That's not going to be enough to supply all of the items that we need. It's enough to keep this going and have an excess, which is fantastic. But if we want to have those piping out into condensers to make iron and redstone, and I'm not pointing at the right things when I say that, but you know what I mean, we'll need a lot more. We'll need... What is in my mouth? What is that? What on earth? What did I eat today? That looks like a popcorn kernel. Oh, I did have... Okay, I was going to say I haven't had popcorn in... because the only place I normally eat popcorn is at the theater, and I was like, I haven't been to a movie in months, possibly? But no, I had some popcorn on the way home from work. I remember it now. It was like a little bagged popcorn from the... It doesn't matter. It's not relevant to what's happening. A little bit of a, like, you know, the little skin on a kernel was like suddenly came loose, and I was like, oh, what about? You get the idea. It's happened to all of us. Happened to the best of us. Happens to the greats all the time. I can't think of any off the top of my head that I could definitively say it's happened to, but I think you could interpret... You know, I'm sure it's probably happened to you. Comment down below. Have you ever found a popcorn kernel in your mouth? Not like the full kernel, but the skin of the kernel. Or like, you know, a bit of the flesh on the outside of a popped portion in your mouth 4 hours later. I've not brushed my teeth yet because I haven't eaten dinner yet. So I'm going to go do that. Listen, none of this is relevant. So we're going to have to build more of these is what I'm getting at. So what I could do is continue building along that wall. Continue building along that wall. And I could do that. Or we could build the Tower of Power. This ridiculous idea of a monolithic structure rising from the earth into the sky all the way up to the build limit. Constantly producing... I mean, at that point, we'd have so many of them going at once diamonds would be silly. At that matter, all the way up at the build height. I mean, that we could. I mean, look, we'd be dwarfing that tower. We'd be dwarfing their entire little kingdom they got over there. What is the build limit in this version of Minecraft? I know it's higher now in newer versions, but this is not a newer version. Is it 256? I think it's right here. I think it's 2. I might be wrong. It might be 128. The build limit could be 128. Let me check. No, it can't be. Because that would, like, 64... no, because that's 64 blocks down, 64 blocks... That's not it. It's got to be 256. Yeah, 256. I had to look it up on the Google. So, right, like, standing here would be the top of our tower. Dwarfing everything beneath us. That would be kind of crazy. Maybe it would look silly, though. Oh, jeez. I don't know. I'm of many minds about this. Not little brains, mind you, but like multiple... I have many opinions is the thing I'm trying to get at here. And I'm not sure which I actually stand by. Then again, like, that's risky, because what if someone comes by and steals them all? What if someone comes by and steals all my red matter? In here, it's inside of the factory. I mean, we have so much room in this factory we're not using. I'm talking myself out of the giant tower. I mean, we can still build a giant tower. There's nothing saying we can't do that. Maybe we can build a tower to God. No one's ever had that idea before. Thank you, folks, for watching. God bless you. Give me your feedback in the comments section down below. Bye.